Beloved souls, hear these words and let them settle deep within your spirit. The supply you seek already exists. The wealth you desire is not outside of you, hidden in some far-off corner of the earth. It is here, now, waiting for your recognition. Money is but an obedient servant of divine law, and when you align your thoughts, your words and your faith, it rushes to you without delay. In truth, wealth is not created in time, it is revealed in consciousness. When you shift the belief from lack to abundance, the doors open wide. The universe is immediate in its response, for it has no concept of waiting. Delay is only the shadow cast by doubt. The moment you command with certainty, the supply is set in motion. You do not have to beg, you do not have to strain, you only need to know. Say within yourself, unexpected money now flows to me in perfect ways. Huge sums of money come to me quickly and easily, under grace. In miraculous ways. As you declare it, feel it as already yours. See it with your inner vision, thank it as though it has already arrived. Gratitude is the magnet that pulls the unseen into the seen. Release all fear of how or when. Fear is faith in reverse. It is belief in lack instead of belief in supply. The moment you cancel fear with faith, the path is cleared. Money will come in ways you never imagined: a gift, a check, a forgotten debt returned, a contract, a sudden opportunity. The channels are many, but the source is one. For some, the blessing comes as swiftly as lightning, within 48 hours or less. Great sums have appeared because they dared to believe without question. They refused to argue with appearances of emptiness. They stood firm in the invisible, and the visible had no choice but to obey. Remember this truth: what you call forth with words clothed in faith cannot be denied you. Your word is your wand, and with it you paint the world of your affairs. If you speak poverty, you live poverty. If you speak riches, you live riches. Therefore, guard your tongue as you would a treasure chest, and let it release only words of increase. When doubt whispers, answer with authority. I walk in abundance. Money comes to me now. Nothing can stop the flow of my good. Each word is a decree. Each decree sets the law in motion, and the law is faithful. It always reproduces after its kind. So open your hands, open your mind, open your heart. Stop clutching the illusion of lack, and you will find that money flows to you, as naturally as the tide returns to the shore. Wealth is your birthright, supply is your inheritance, and miracles are your portion. In 48 hours or less, when you stand in faith and declare your good, you shall see it with your own eyes. Money is not something far from you. It is not something outside of you that you must chase, plead for, or toil endlessly to obtain. Money is a spiritual substance, invisible yet ever present, flowing in the same way that air surrounds you or sunlight fills the sky. It is here, in this very moment, awaiting only your recognition. Just as a fish swims through the vast ocean, without worrying whether there will be enough water to sustain it, you are immersed in an ocean of supply that can never run dry. The limitation lies not in the supply, but in the consciousness that fails to see it. When you understand that money is a spiritual substance, you begin to treat it as a friend, a servant of divine law, and no longer as something scarce or difficult to obtain. Many people live under the illusion that money is hard, that it requires struggle, sacrifice, or manipulation to gather. They see money as material, heavy, bound by the rules of the world, forgetting that before it ever became paper or coin, it was first a spiritual idea. Every form is the manifestation of an idea, and money is no different. Its true essence is energy, vibration, and substance. And when you align your own vibration with wealth, it cannot resist you. It responds instantly to faith-filled words and thoughts, because thought is the blueprint of manifestation. If you think of lack, you build lack. If you think of abundance, you build abundance. To attract huge sums of money, you must first shift your relationship with it. Stop seeing money as something separate or distant. Stop holding it at arm's length with fear, doubt, or resentment. Begin to see money as a faithful servant of divine law, eager to obey your spoken word. It is a mirror that reflects back to you the beliefs and affirmations you hold in your heart. If you believe it is scarce, it hides from you. If you believe it is plentiful, it rushes to you. If you bless it, it blesses you in return. The spiritual law is precise, like attracts like. The energy you radiate is the energy that returns to you multiplied. Speak words of wealth, and you set into motion the current of abundance. Speak words of fear and you create blockages in that current. That is why words must be chosen carefully. Each declaration you make carries weight, power, and authority. Saying, "I never have enough money," is not just idle talk. It is a command to the invisible substance of supply to hold itself back from you. Saying, "Money flows to me easily and quickly," is likewise a command, and the spiritual substance obeys by drawing circumstances, people, and opportunities that fulfill your decree. Faith is the activator of this spiritual substance. Without faith, words fall empty. With faith, words ignite and become living realities. Faith is the unseen currency that moves mountains and rearranges the outer world. When you declare with faith, when you speak with conviction that what you desire is already yours, you imprint upon the spiritual substance and call it into visible form. Money then becomes your obedient servant, responding swiftly to your decree. It has no will of its own. It is directed entirely by the consciousness that wields it. If you want to attract money in 48 hours or less, you must rise above the old patterns of worry and doubt. Worry is wasted imagination, painting pictures of lack that you do not want. Doubt is faith in the wrong direction, believing in the absence of supply instead of the presence of it. To master this law, you must cancel worry the moment it arises and replace it with a declaration of truth. If your mind whispers, "What if the money doesn't come?" you answer firmly, "The money is already here. It is mine by divine right, and it comes now." This shift of inner authority is what clears the channel for money to flow without delay. Money as a spiritual substance is always moving, always circulating. When you hoard it in fear, it stagnates. When you release it with gratitude and trust, it multiplies. This is why giving and generosity are so powerful in drawing back greater sums. When you give freely, you are making a statement to the universe. I trust in unlimited supply. I know that what I give returns to me multiplied. In this way, money flows like a river, and your willingness to keep it in circulation ensures that the river never runs dry. Another truth to understand is that money has no morality of its own. It is neither good nor evil. It is neutral substance, molded by the consciousness of the one who directs it. In the hands of fear, it may be hoarded or wasted. In the hands of faith, it becomes a channel for blessing, expansion, and freedom. Therefore, release any hidden guilt or shame about desiring wealth. Wealth is not a selfish pursuit when it is aligned with divine law. It is your right to live abundantly, to express fully, to expand freely. Poverty serves no one, for lack is a lie of the senses, not a truth of the spirit. Your task, then, is to train your mind and your words to stay in harmony with the truth of abundance. Begin your day by declaring, "Money is a spiritual substance. It surrounds me. It flows to me. It obeys my faith-filled words." Walk through your day with the quiet knowing that supply is present everywhere, waiting only for your recognition. When bills appear, bless them and declare that their payment is already provided. When you see others prosper, rejoice in their abundance and affirm that the same current flows to you. In doing this, you shift your consciousness into alignment with the law of riches, and money must respond. Money does not come to the anxious, the doubtful, or the resentful. It comes to the one who knows, without hesitation, that abundance is a spiritual fact. It comes to the one who speaks truth, even in the face of appearances of lack. It comes to the one who refuses to compromise their faith by rehearsing stories of limitation. Every thought of abundance is a seed, and the harvest is inevitable when planted with faith. This is why some see sudden breakthroughs, sudden checks, sudden gifts, within hours of declaring their intention. It is not chance, it is law. The spiritual substance of money was always surrounding them, but the moment they shifted their words and their faith, it crystallized into visible form. The supply was not created in that moment, it was revealed. So let money be to you what it truly is, a divine servant, an obedient substance, waiting to take the shape of your decree. Let your words be certain, your faith unwavering, and your gratitude overflowing. For when you treat money as spiritual substance, you remove all struggle and open the way for it to come to you swiftly, richly, and in amounts that astonish your imagination. Delay is not a punishment from life, nor is it a sign that the universe has withheld its gifts from you. Delay is only the shadow of doubt, and the moment you release doubt, wealth appears quickly, often in ways that feel miraculous. It is not time that keeps money away. It is thought. It is not circumstances that block abundance. It is the inner argument with truth. When you stop arguing, stop resisting, and stand still in faith, the floodgates open and supply rushes in. The law of supply is always active, always available, and always ready to deliver the abundance that belongs to you by right of consciousness. Doubt is a thief that robs faster than any outside force. Doubt disguises itself as logic, as common sense, as worldly wisdom, but in reality it is nothing more than faith turned in the wrong direction. When you doubt, you believe in lack more than you believe in supply. You put your trust in appearances of emptiness instead of the invisible fullness that surrounds you. Doubt whispers, "It cannot happen so fast. It cannot be that easy. It cannot be this good." And when you agree with it, you slam the door on your own abundance. Yet the moment you replace those whispers with declarations of truth, you swing that door wide open, and what seemed far away suddenly stands before you. The power of faith is instantaneous. Faith does not wait. Faith does not operate according to clocks or calendars. Faith functions in the eternal now. The reason wealth sometimes appears delayed is because the individual has not yet released the inner resistance. The delay is not the world refusing you. It is your own consciousness hesitating to receive. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve faith and doubt at the same time. The moment you choose one, the other dissolves. And when you choose faith without wavering, the invisible becomes visible, and money comes to you swiftly, often in less than the 48 hours you imagined. The world trains the mind to believe in delay. From childhood you are told that good things take time, that success is a slow climb, that money must be earned only by long, hard struggle. These beliefs create the experience of waiting, because what you accept as truth becomes law in your own affairs. But when you awaken to divine law, you realize that supply has no such restrictions. The universe is not limited by time, effort, or the opinions of others. The moment you believe without question, the moment you declare without hesitation, supply responds. That is why miracles often appear the instant someone gives up resistance. They stop pushing, they stop doubting, they stop clinging to the illusion of lack, and immediately, provision is revealed. Wealth appears quickly when you cease entertaining the shadows of doubt. If you plant a seed, and then dig it up every few hours to see if it is growing, you disturb the process. Doubt does this to your manifestations. Every time you wonder, but how will it come? What if it doesn't work? What if nothing changes? You are digging up your own seed of abundance. Instead, plant your seed with faith and leave it in the fertile soil of divine law. Know that it is growing even when you cannot see it. Give thanks for it as though it has already borne fruit. And then, without warning, the harvest arrives, often sooner than you expected. Delay is also created by clinging to appearances. When the bank account looks empty, when the bills pile high, when the opportunity seems absent, the natural reaction of the human mind is to believe what it sees. But appearances are the last to change. They are the shadows of past thought. If you keep your attention on the shadows, you remain tied to the past. If you lift your vision above appearances, declaring, "This is only a temporary picture, and my true supply is already here," then you free yourself from the illusion, and invite the new picture to manifest. Money can appear in an instant when you stop worshipping appearances and start trusting in visible supply. There are countless ways money can come to you, but doubt blinds you to those channels. You may dismiss an idea because it seems too simple, or overlook an opportunity because it arrives disguised as something ordinary. Doubt narrows the mind and closes the door to creativity. Faith, on the other hand, widens the vision, sharpens intuition, and attracts inspired action. With faith, you suddenly see the opportunity that was there all along, the connection that leads to abundance, the path that brings money swiftly into your hands. What looked impossible in doubt becomes obvious in faith. Delay vanishes the moment you make a firm, unwavering decision. A divided mind cannot manifest abundance, because half of it calls for wealth while the other half pushes it away. When you choose wealth completely, when you say with certainty, "I accept my abundance now. I receive my money now, I allow my good now. There is no longer anything blocking the flow. This clarity of decision is magnetic. It sends out a signal that the universe must respond to. And the response often comes with speed and precision, as though it had been waiting at the door all along. The miraculous speed of manifestation is not rare, it is natural when you are aligned. People often report sudden windfalls, unexpected checks, forgotten debts repaid, gifts, new clients, job offers, or opportunities that bring money within hours of releasing doubt. These events may seem surprising, but in truth they are simply the law fulfilling itself once the resistance is gone. Supply was always circling you, ready to enter, but doubt held it back. Remove the doubt, and wealth rushes in as though it had been pressing against the door, waiting to burst forth. The shadow of doubt dissolves in the light of affirmation. Every time doubt whispers, answer with truth. If doubt says, "What if it doesn't come in time?" You reply, "My supply is immediate, and it comes in perfect timing." If doubt says, "It is too good to be true," you answer, "Nothing is too good to be true, and nothing is too wonderful to happen." If doubt says, "I have to wait," you declare, "Delay is dissolved now, my wealth is here now," and it manifests without effort. These affirmations are not mere words, they are commands to the spiritual law, and the law always obeys. Faith collapses time. Faith erases waiting. Faith brings the unseen into the seen without delay. When you stand in faith, you step into a realm where 48 hours is more than enough time for huge sums of money to appear, because time is no barrier to the spiritual law of supply. What the world calls miraculous is simply natural law unhindered by doubt. Your word is your wand, and with it you shape the very world you live in. Words are not idle sounds. They are commands sent forth into the unseen substance of life, molding it into form. Each word you speak carries a vibration, and that vibration returns to you multiplied. To speak of riches is to summon riches, to speak of poverty is to summon poverty. The law is exact and impartial. It does not judge your words, it fulfills them. If you continually declare lack, you will live lack. If you continually declare abundance, you will live abundance. The creative power of the spoken word is the key to mastering wealth, and when you speak riches, abundance, and gratitude, the law of supply must obey. Most people do not understand that their daily words are creating their financial conditions. They believe they are merely describing what is, but in truth they are decreeing what will be. Saying, "I can't afford it," is not a casual remark, it is a decree to the universe that ensures you remain unable to afford. Saying, "Money never stays with me," is not a complaint, it is a command to spiritual substance to keep money fleeting from your life. Every careless word plants a seed, and every seed produces after its kind. The harvest of today is nothing more than the words spoken yesterday. To change your financial world, you must change your language. Begin to speak only of what you desire, never of what you fear. Declare wealth in the face of apparent lack. Declare plenty in the midst of bills. Declare freedom even when appearances suggest bondage. When you speak truth in the face of illusion, you call forth a higher reality. Your word does not need to match the present picture. It creates a new picture. What you affirm with conviction imprints upon the invisible substance and must manifest in visible form. The tongue is a powerful instrument, and gratitude is the sharpest edge of its blade. When you speak words of gratitude, you open doors for more to flow in. Gratitude multiplies what you already have, and prepares the way for greater blessings. Saying, "Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my abundance. Thank you for the money that flows to me in miraculous ways," is a magnetizing force that draws supply from every direction. Gratitude is the language of faith, and faith is what sets the law of supply into motion. Some believe that thinking alone is enough, but thought without words often lacks the strength of command. A thought can be fleeting, but a word is a decree. When you speak, you vibrate not only within yourself, but also into the atmosphere around you, impressing both your own subconscious and the invisible substance of the universe. Repeated declarations carve deep channels into the subconscious, programming it to accept abundance as your truth. Once the subconscious accepts wealth as normal, the outer world reorganizes itself to match that belief. The challenge comes when appearances contradict your words. You may declare, I am wealthy, while looking at an empty purse, or money flows to me now, while bills wait unpaid. The temptation is to abandon the affirmation and slip back into speaking lack. But this is where the test of faith lies. You must continue speaking abundance, regardless of appearances, until the appearances are forced to change. Words spoken in faith are seeds planted in the soil of divine law. Some sprout quickly, some take longer, but all bear fruit when nurtured with consistency and belief. There is no neutral word. Every word either blesses or curses, increases or decreases, builds up or tears down. Casual talk about being broke, joking about not having enough, complaining about expenses. These are not harmless phrases. They are creative forces working against you. To master wealth, you must discipline your tongue as you would a wild horse. Refuse to let it wander into negativity or limitation. Train it to speak only truth, only abundance, only blessing. In time, this discipline becomes second nature, and your world reflects the increase you have been declaring. Gratitude combined with expectation is a formula that never fails. To say, I am grateful for my money now, and I know more is already on its way, is to place yourself in the flow of endless supply. The universe loves a grateful heart, for gratitude is a sign of recognition. When you recognize the wealth already present, more must rush in to match your recognition. Complaining about lack blinds you to what is already there, but gratitude reveals hidden channels and opens unexpected doors. Your word has authority because you are not separate from divine law, you are an extension of it. The power that created worlds moves through you, and it is activated by your decrees. This is why careless words manifest just as surely as intentional ones. The law does not differentiate between what you mean and what you say, it simply obeys. That is why mastery requires vigilance. You must learn to stop before speaking and ask yourself, does this word align with abundance, or does it align with lack? If it aligns with lack, release it unsaid. If it aligns with abundance, speak it with confidence, knowing it will not return void. Visualization strengthens the spoken word. When you speak, see in your inner eye the reality you are declaring. If you say, I receive large sums of money now, picture yourself receiving it, holding it, blessing it. Add gratitude, and the vision is electrified with power. See yourself paying bills with ease, enjoying freedom, giving generously, and affirm it all as present fact. The subconscious mind responds to images, and when those images are reinforced with words, they become unavoidable realities. Even scripture declares that life and death are in the power of the tongue. To speak life over your finances is to resurrect them, to revive them, to expand them. To speak death is to bury them under limitation. The choice is always yours. Every morning you awaken with the power to bless your day with words of prosperity, and every night you close your eyes having reaped the harvest of what you declared. Choose carefully, speak wisely, and never underestimate the authority that lies upon your tongue. Those who have mastered this law can testify to its speed and precision. They have seen words of increase bring unexpected checks, gifts, and opportunities within hours. They have experienced the miraculous nature of the law, obeying their declarations without delay. What appears as coincidence to the untrained eye is simply the fulfillment of words spoken with faith. Once you see this truth, you become more deliberate, more conscious, more intentional in the language you release. You learn to turn every word into a seed of wealth, every phrase into a decree of abundance, every sentence into a prayer of gratitude. Your financial destiny is not written by external forces, it is written by your own tongue. The words you speak daily are chiseling the shape of your tomorrow. If you want riches, let your words be rich. If you want freedom, let your words be free. If you want miracles, let your words carry the fragrance of faith and gratitude. Speak riches, speak abundance, speak gratitude, and the law of supply must obey. For it has no choice but to mirror back the decree that you yourself have sent forth. Money flows through unlimited channels, but the source is always one. To understand this truth is to release yourself from the bondage of worry about where or how money will come. The moment you tie your supply to a single channel, a job, a business, a person, a client, you have limited the infinite. You begin to believe that if that channel closes, your good is gone, forgetting that channels are only instruments, not the origin. The origin of your wealth is the invisible source, the divine supply that never fails, never diminishes, never withholds. When you keep your focus on the source rather than the channel, you are free to receive abundance in ways you cannot predict. For the universe has endless avenues to deliver your good. Most people make the mistake of confusing the channel with the source. They look at their salary and think it is the source of their income. They look at their business and believe it is the provider of their wealth. They look at one person or one deal and imagine that their supply is dependent upon it. This creates fear because if that salary is lost, if that business slows down, if that person withdraws, then they feel abandoned and unsupported. But when you anchor yourself in the truth that your job, your business, your clients are only channels through which the one source flows, then you remain steady no matter what changes occur. Channels may open and close, but the source remains constant, always creating new ways to provide. This understanding lifts you above dependence and into trust. You no longer cling tightly to one channel, fearing its loss, for you know that even if one dries up, 10 more can open instantly. The infinite cannot run out of ideas, contacts, opportunities, or methods. The same power that set stars in the heavens can easily arrange a flow of money into your life, often through means you never imagined. One day it may come through work, another through a gift, another through a sudden opportunity, another through a refund or inheritance. The variety of channels is infinite, but the source is always one. When you trust the source rather than the channel, you free yourself from desperation. Desperation chases people away, but trust draws them near. If you cling to a channel with fear, you block its flow. If you release the channel and trust the source, money flows with ease, often through multiple avenues at once. This is why it is so important to affirm daily that your wealth comes from divine supply, not from any limited source. Affirm that you are open to receive from every direction, in expected and unexpected ways, and you give the universe freedom to surprise you with abundance. The channels of money are as numerous as the sands of the sea. Someone may hand you a gift, a forgotten account may be returned, a new idea may bring sudden profit, a stranger may recommend you, an opportunity may appear seemingly out of nowhere. When you are fixated on only one path, you blind yourself to all the others. But when you open your vision and declare that your supply is limitless, you begin to notice money coming in from directions you never thought possible. Life becomes a treasure hunt, with riches hidden in plain sight, waiting for your recognition. Trusting the source also removes envy and resentment. When you see another prospering, you need not feel jealousy, because their prosperity is not your loss. They are simply receiving through the channels open to them. Just as you are free to receive through the channels open to you. There is no competition in divine supply, because the source is infinite. The more you bless the prosperity of others, the more you align yourself with the flow of your own. Resentment blocks the current, but blessing multiplies it. Another truth to grasp is that channels change as you grow. Sometimes you are meant to outgrow one channel so that new, greater ones can open. What feels like loss may simply be the closing of an old door to make way for something better. If you cling in fear, you prolong the transition, but if you release and trust, you move swiftly into the greater supply prepared for you. This is why some people, after losing a job or business, find themselves richer than ever before, because they allowed the source to open a more fitting channel. The source always knows the perfect way, even when appearances suggest otherwise. When you affirm, money flows to me through unlimited channels, you are declaring freedom from limitation. You are commanding the infinite to reveal avenues you cannot see. You are refusing to put the source into a box of your own making. Some of the greatest financial breakthroughs come in ways the person could never have planned. They may have thought their abundance would come through one deal, but instead it came through a surprise inheritance, or a new idea, or a sudden connection with someone influential. The law of supply is creative, and when you give it freedom, it will astonish you with its ingenuity. It is important to cultivate an expectant attitude, not toward any particular channel, but toward the source itself. Wake each day with the assurance that money will come, and then release the how. Know that the universe is already arranging the channels, aligning the people, orchestrating the events. Your work is to hold steady in faith. Speak words of abundance, give thanks, and remain open to receive. If one door closes, smile and say, "A greater one is opening." If one channel seems slow, affirm, "The infinite has endless ways to prosper me." This expectancy keeps the current flowing. Fear of lack often shows up as clinging to one channel. People say, "If I lose this job, I am finished," or, "If this client cancels, I am ruined." These are declarations that make the channel into a false god. But when you declare, "My supply is from the infinite, and channels are endless," you take your power back. You stand in truth and the channels respond accordingly. Often, the very moment you release fear of losing one channel, new ones spring up to replace it, proving that the source was never tied to that one path. Money flowing through unlimited channels means that you are never trapped, never stuck, never without options. The only prison is the belief in limitation. The only lock is the belief in scarcity. The moment you dissolve those beliefs, the door swings wide, and the current of abundance floods in. The source is infinite intelligence, and it delights in creating ways to prosper you that you could never invent on your own. When you give thanks for this truth, you relax, and in your relaxation, you allow the flow. You are not responsible for the channels, you are responsible for your consciousness. Keep your consciousness anchored in abundance, faith, gratitude, and expectancy, and the channels will take care of themselves. They will open, shift, multiply, and adjust as needed. You never have to chase them. You only have to trust. Money will come through avenues you know and avenues you don't, through expected streams and unexpected windfalls, through ordinary means and extraordinary surprises. The channels may be infinite, but the source is always one. And when you trust the source, you live in a state of peace, knowing that supply is certain, constant, and unfailing. Stand firm in faith, visualize with gratitude, and wealth will manifest in 48 hours or less under divine law. To stand firm in faith means to root yourself so deeply in the truth of abundance that no appearance of lack can shake you. Faith is not wavering hope, it is certainty. Faith is the inner knowing that what you desire is already yours. Even when your senses tell you otherwise, it is holding to the unseen reality with such strength that the visible world must rearrange itself to reflect it. When you stand firm in faith, you refuse to be swayed by doubts, delays, or appearances. You become immovable in your conviction, and it is this immovable conviction that forces supply into visibility. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. It is not wishful thinking, but the very power that shapes unseen energy into tangible form. When you declare with faith that huge sums of money are yours now, you have already set in motion the manifestation of that decree. The law of supply does not hesitate. It responds instantly to faith-filled command. It is not the law that delays, it is the wavering of human thought that introduces delay. To stand firm in faith is to cancel the delay and demand immediate manifestation. That is why faith collapses time and brings wealth within hours instead of months or years. Visualization adds power to faith, because the mind creates through images as well as words. When you visualize with gratitude, you imprint your subconscious mind with the reality you wish to experience. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. It accepts every image as truth and works tirelessly to bring it into manifestation. When you close your eyes and see yourself receiving money, holding it, counting it, blessing it, spending it freely and joyfully, you are impressing your inner world with a new blueprint. That blueprint must then be built in the outer world. The clearer and more detailed the vision, the faster it manifests, for clarity is magnetic to the law of supply. Gratitude is the force that seals faith and visualization together. When you give thanks for money before it arrives, you are demonstrating trust in the law. Gratitude is proof that you believe, because no one gives thanks for something they do not expect to receive. By saying, "Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for the huge sums of money flowing to me now. Thank you for the miracles already at work," you declare your confidence that the unseen is becoming seen. Gratitude raises your vibration to match the frequency of abundance, and once you are vibrating in harmony with wealth, wealth must appear. The combination of faith, visualization, and gratitude creates a spiritual trinity of manifestation. Faith anchors you, visualization directs you, gratitude magnetizes you. Together, they create conditions so powerful that wealth cannot help but rush to you. This is why those who practice these three together often experience sudden financial breakthroughs, sometimes within hours. They have aligned themselves perfectly with divine law, and divine law must fulfill itself. To stand firm in faith also means refusing to entertain the whispers of fear. Fear is the shadow that tries to cover your vision. It says, "What if it doesn't happen? What if it's too late? What if nothing changes?" Faith answers fear with truth. Faith declares, "It is happening now. It is never too late. Everything is changing in my favor." The moment you refuse to agree with fear, its power dissolves, and your faith shines brighter. Each time you overcome fear, your faith grows stronger, until it becomes a solid rock that no storm can shake. Wealth manifests quickly for those who live as if it is already here. Act as though your abundance is certain. Walk with the confidence of one who knows supply is flowing. Give thanks for your blessings before they appear. Prepare yourself to receive. When you behave as though money is already yours, you send a clear signal to the subconscious and the universe that you are ready. The universe responds to readiness with speed. It cannot deliver what you do not believe you can handle. But the moment you align your behavior with your faith, the supply is released. Divine law does not require time, it only requires alignment. The moment you align thought, word, and feeling with abundance, the manifestation is set. Sometimes the wealth appears instantly, sometimes within hours, sometimes within days, but it is always moving toward you. The 48-hour manifestation is possible because time is irrelevant to the law. What you call time is only the unfolding of thought into matter, and when thought is clear, strong, and undivided, the unfolding is rapid. Miracles are simply the natural speed of law unhindered by resistance. Visualization with gratitude also dissolves impatience. Instead of waiting nervously, wondering when money will come, you rest in the joy of already having it. You picture yourself free, abundant, secure, and you thank the source for providing it. This creates a calm certainty that speeds up manifestation. Impatience signals doubt, but gratitude signals faith. Gratitude is the attitude that says, "I already have it," and the law responds by making it so. Faith and visualization also direct your intuition. They guide you to take the right steps at the right time. Sometimes the wealth appears as a direct gift or unexpected windfall, but often it comes through inspired action. You may suddenly think of someone to call, a place to go, an idea to pursue, and when you follow that nudge, the channel of money opens. The law uses your intuition as a guide to lead you to the channels prepared for you. The clearer your faith and visualization, the easier it is to hear and trust these inner promptings. To manifest within 48 hours requires intensity of belief. Half-hearted affirmations will not do. You must declare with certainty, visualize with passion, and give thanks with overflowing joy. Feel the money as if it is in your hands. See the freedom it brings. Rejoice in the security it provides, and declare that it is yours now. The stronger your emotion, the faster the manifestation. Emotion is energy in motion, and when directed toward abundance, it accelerates the process. The universe delights in speed when you are aligned. There is no virtue in waiting, no holiness in delay. The supply is always here, always ready, always abundant. It is only human resistance that creates delay. But when resistance is gone, when faith stands tall, when vision is clear, when gratitude is overflowing, the law moves instantly. That is why some see checks arrive in the mail the very next day, unexpected gifts handed to them, business deals closing suddenly, or opportunities that bring immediate wealth. These are not accidents, they are demonstrations of divine law in action. Stand firm in faith. See with gratitude, act with expectancy, and you will find that wealth moves toward you faster than you believed possible. The 48 hours are not a test of the law, but a test of your certainty. If you can hold your faith steady, your vision clear, and your gratitude strong, the wealth will manifest. Because under divine law it has no choice but to obey.